Hey, everybody, welcome to the Silver Phoenix Happy Hour. I'm
I,
Blaze.
I am Ken,
Mm,
and we have a great show tonight. Actually, we have a guest that I'm looking forward to talking to later on on this presentation. But I know you wanted to actually start with something. There's a new show that started that you wanted to talk to me about.
yes, yes, I actually wanted to know if you've seen Sandman on
Uh, I l-
Netflix.
I like Sandman. I have read Sandman. I have not seen it yet, except for the first episode,
Okay.
and so far I've been pleasantly surprised by it.
I mean, I did binge watch it this past weekend. I wasn't feeling great. As you can tell, my nose is still stuffed up. I'm still like summer cold. Who gets a summer cold? Only me. But it's okay. It's okay. It'll be fine. I plus, you know what? I love the fall and I love the spring seasons. So I'm like, I'm ready and raring for fall. Let's go. But I watched all of it and I loved it. I really did. I liked it a lot. I thought it was clever. Gwendolyn Christie's in it from Game of Thrones. She has a nice little role in it, and I just yeah, I really connected to it. I liked it a lot.
I'm
Um,
actually a fan of Jenna Coleman, who's also on it, from Doctor Who fame,
yeah,
among other things. I'm down and watching the rest of it. Like I said, I'm a fan of Neil Gaiman and a lot of his work. Neil Gaiman, did you see Good Omens on Prime also?
no, I didn't.
Highly recommend it. It's based on a book written by him and another writer, Terry Pratchett, and it's about an angel and a demon that are actually essentially become friends living on Earth together.
Hmm. Okay.
Yeah, during the apocalypse.
Ah, all right.
It's a
Is it
lot of fun.
super dark or is it
No,
more
no,
like okay?
it's, comedic. Imagine, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy with demons and angels.
Okay. Oh my gosh, that's a movie I haven't seen in forever. It's been a long time.
Forget the movie, just reread the books, all right?
Okay, sounds good. All right. Well, so this week there's a lot of. I was looking at the national days, and there were a couple that I just wanted to bring up because I thought it was so funny that some of these are actual national days. Well, first,
I always get nervous when you bring this stuff up because I know it's gonna be an experience. I'm gonna learn something whenever you hit me with this.
well, you know, it's funny because it just popped up on my Instagram feed, like somebody posted something. So I looked up the whole week and I was like, really, that's actually a national day? Like, who makes up these things? But I just thought it was really funny. First was National Rum Day. So we got the rum and Coke going,
Okay.
um, but very little rum, don't worry. Okay, mom, I'm taking care of myself. Don't worry. And then there is National I Love My Feet Day. Um, so I don't know if like yeah, I know I saw you, you're like, "No, I'm not gonna go there." I do have a question for you. Have you ever dated anyone or known anybody who has a foot fetish? No, because it's the first thing that popped in my mind when I saw that it was like, "I love my feet day." I mean, yeah, I like a good pedicure and everything, but I don't think I need a day to celebrate I love my feet day for myself. I don't know.
Thank you for this show because again, something that has never been asked of me before. Um, no, I don't think so. I mean, at least none that I was conscious of. We'll put it that way.
Okay. I do remember in college a guy that, did ask me out, ask my friend out, and and he had a big time foot fetish. And there's been plenty of jobs too. When I modeled, there were some definite jobs where they were like, "Can we see your feet?" you know, and I was like, "Sure," because I actually think I have nice feet. So I, I worked for a podiatrist for a little while, so I know what shoes to wear and not to wear. But anyway, so I showed, and I could tell that there was like a lick of the lips or something really strange, and I was like, "Oh boy," But sometimes you just do the job and take the money and run. What I don't know doesn't hurt me. I was like, just don't tell me what your fetishes are. Let me just do the job and get out of
I
here. Like, you know.
I've gotten to become friends with and get to know a lot of models, and there's a lot of weird kind of
Yeah.
stories with stuff like that. Yeah, yeah.
100%. It's nutso. Okay, that there was another national day. It was National Pinot Noir Day.
Oh, I got my seltzer. I should have gone with the wine today.
Ah, you should have 100%. And National Tell a Joke Day. So, do you have any?
None that I could probably say on this show.
All right. Well, I mean, mine are corny and they're more like dad jokes, I guess, but very beachcombing with Blaze, I think. So, what did one ocean say to the other ocean?
Uh, 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 no idea.
It didn't say anything. It just waved.
I knew it was either a wave or a tide thing, and I couldn't get there fast enough.
Um, how many tickles does it take to get an octopus to laugh?
Uh, I'd go with 8, but
Tentacles.
I've never done this before. Let's see what he's got to say.
I've been off for a long time. Is X-Men the animated series still on?
Oh, it's coming back, but yeah, that has nothing to do with this joke.
Logan's chest hair, manicured or au naturel?
There we go. That's awesome. I didn't know that it spoke.
Oh, it does everything.
That's fantastic. I should get one of those 8 balls.
I did present some jokes, and it came from Deadpool, and it was suitable for this show. At least those were. We didn't go any further. I wasn't going to test it.
There you go. Well, all right, in honor of rum, I have one last joke. I'll make sure I don't muff it up because I'm not a good joke teller. I'll totally admit it. I should have had like one of the comedians that I used to work with at Center of Attention come on, Jim Gaffigan or Keith Alberstadt could have told a much better joke than me.
I love Keith.
Right? Oh my gosh. Uh, okay, so what is a pirate's favorite letter?
R.
Well, you would think it's R, but it's actually the C. C.
All right.
All
I
right, that's
think
it.
I'm officially done
That's
with
it.
the show.
Well, listen, one more national day. We'll leave the jokes behind and move on to the last national day. And that last national day, it's National Potato Day is this week.
Okay.
Um, so that being said, how do you like your potatoes prepared? Like, what's your favorite potato dish? Do you have one?
I would say more lately, my go-to, I think, is roasted.
Hmm.
Dice them
Okay.
up with some onions and some seasonings and roast them. Otherwise, I'm a classic mashed potato guy.
Okay. I like a good baked potato with a little butter, sour cream, a little salt and pepper. I'm pretty simple that way, or with a good steak. Um,
Oh yeah.
or I do like hash browns too, like a nice crispy hash brown. Not a huge French fry girl. I'll do it once in a while
I like
because
I
it's
like a
there.
good
But
one.
yeah, and if I do, it's steak fries. I like the steak fries, not
Yeah,
like any of the shoestring or any of those other ones. I like the good, crispy, crispy, nice steak fries. But speaking of potatoes, we're going to welcome Nicole now. Your favorite girl is here from in the kitchen, and we'll see what she has cooking for us today.
I'm looking forward to this one.
Hey, Ken and Blaze, whether you say potato or potato, I'm here to let you know today that guess what? White potatoes are also a nutrient dense option. I think we've gotten really caught up in some diet culture and some misinformation that we should only eat sweet potatoes. Sweet potatoes are fantastic. They have more vitamin A, great for your eyesight and your skin, than our white potatoes. However, our white potatoes are not the calorie bomb that everyone has made them out to be. So one, our white potatoes, great source of vitamin C and of course potassium. Why is potassium of concern? Because so many of us are getting way too much sodium in our diets, and those two nutrients work in tandem together for electrolyte balance, right? Also, people say like, oh, cut out white carbs, cut out white carbs. Sure, if you also want to cut all the joy out of your life. So I'm looking at this bag here. I love these mini potatoes. You can steam them, you could roast them. They take a lot of the work out. Of course, keep the skin on to maintain the fiber content. But total carbs in this, 26 grams. We subtract the 2 grams of fiber, total carbs 24 grams. In the grand scheme of thing, for most of us, that's not a whole lot. That's perfectly appropriate to count as the carbohydrate for one of your meals. These do also count as a vegetable. So next time someone tries to shame you out of enjoying white potatoes, send them my way. I'll tell them what to do with the potato. Ken, Blaze, it is always a pleasure. Happy potatoing, whatever color you choose.
She does it every week, man. She enlightens me so much on the way that I should be living my life. I may not be 100% at following it, but she teaches me how to live my life the best I possibly can. I love her.
I know, I every time that I watch any of her stuff anyway, I end up like I'm hungry. Like I want to go and cook something up now or try something that she's kind of offered to
I mean,
us on the show. Have you tried anything? Have you like made anything that she has said?
well, there were a couple of things, but like again, I don't know if it's so much like what she presents to us food wise, but then just like the whole health aspect of it. It's like
Right.
again, I think that's what I'm getting a lot the most from her segments, just because she knows what she's talking about. Like I said, I mean,
Right.
I'm not kidding. Like I really should be doing all of this stuff that she's presenting to us.
Yeah.
I actually have to condition myself a little bit better.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I'm not trying to plug anything here, but I've been doing a program with her for about a month. I don't know if I mentioned it, but it's called Step by Step, and it's with her and another a nutritionist named Brooke, and it's really eat. It's not eat whatever you want like a crazy person, but there are no limitations. It's not a diet per se. It is more of a healthy living
Portion
and a
and
portion exactly, and kind of just being a little more cognizant of things. So it's tracking, it's all this, but I've lost 18 pounds in a month.
that's
Um,
incredible.
yeah,
I mean,
and
congratulations.
thank you. And I feel great. I know I look better because people have been, kind
Well,
of winking at me a little more.
Well, and I'll be honest, since we started this program about what 3 months ago now, or a little over
Yeah,
3 months ago, I mean, it's noticeable. I mean,
thanks.
congratulations, really.
Thank you. And that really honestly, it's Nicole and Brooke too, but Nicole is my, go-to person. And we started this before I started the program. So I mean in the kitchen, I mean in our program
Mhm.
here. So it wasn't like I knew about that beforehand. This is something new that just happened to come up and I decided to go for the opportunity. And why wouldn't I? I mean, number one, I love her and how she promotes things and presents things. And I think when you have someone like that in your corner, and just kind of championing you. And she really does. I mean, that's why everything you see, she's so authentic. And I use this word sometimes. I feel like I use it too much sometimes, but it's so true because I think that's the one thing in my life now that I am really looking for. Like, if someone's not authentic with me, I'm not even bothering anymore. Like, I
Right.
just want authenticity. You don't have to, like, you know, be on the point all the time, but I just need to know that you're a real person and you're a good person and and Nicole is like through and through. So I'm enjoying it.
Actually, no, I will give a big thank you to Nicole for some of this stuff, because what it has done lately is I have started dieting over the last
Yeah.
couple of weeks.
Okay.
Unfortunately, a week ago, I went to a family reunion, big barbecue, whatever, and ate a bunch of stuff I probably shouldn't, a lot that I shouldn't have. Only 2 weeks into my diet, so now I'm working on getting rid of that again. So, but yeah, I slowly but surely I'm feeling a little bit of a difference, at least health wise too, because a
Well,
lot of the stuff
some
I'm eating is better.
yeah, but you know what? Sometimes it's also knowing like how many calories you should be intaking a day.
Right.
I wasn't thinking about that before.
Yep.
I would thought I was eating clean or eating healthy, but I definitely wasn't watching and I didn't know what the protein to fat to
Yep.
carbs ratio I should be doing, and I definitely was missing out on the protein. And
Yeah.
she's a big P protein, the big P energy protein proponent. So I'm learning a lot, and that's the thing. She has these videos I watch, and it's just really cool. But it's called Step by Step. If anybody is interested, you can either hit me up or look up Step Bite Step, and and I'm sure that Nicole will tell you more information and maybe you can get on the program in the future. But
And for
yeah.
those that want to hit you up to ask,
Oh yes, thank you. That is my Instagram. Um, but so this week or this not even this week, there's only a couple weeks left of summer. I mean,
yeah,
like really, it's where has the time gone? It's just flown by.
it has.
I can't believe we're in August already. It's insane to me. Do you have any plans coming up the next couple weeks?
Well, this week alone, I got a lot, but I don't know if it's actually summer related. Kind of. I'm looking forward. She-Hulk is starting on Disney Plus this week, and I'm super stoked for it. It's one of my all-time favorite comic books when I was younger, and just to see them bring it to life looks incredible. Um, and also a fan favorite of mine and yours to a degree too, because it was one of the first times we actually really hung out together. Riff Tracks is back in theaters this week.
Ah, nice.
The guys that
Fun.
participated in the old Mystery Science Theater 3000 is doing a live event this week where they're actually screening the 90s classic The Return of Swamp Thing
Oh,
with Heather
okay.
Locklear and Dick Durock. What's more disturbing, the fact that she was married to Richie Sambora or she dated David Spade?
Oh, but
Because
David Spade
that's
is funny. Like, I could take a funny guy
yeah.
over, like, the looks, and I don't go for bad guys typically. Like, I mean, I never really have been. I was in the music business and the, film, and I never dated anybody really in those industries. And I had opportunities,
Very,
plenty of them.
very smart on you.
And well, it's true. Like, I don't know if it was just I just didn't have that, like, proponent for bad boys. I don't know. But I should ask my mom and my brother because they would probably say differently. They would probably
Yeah.
be like, "Yes, you do." Like,
Well, no. There's bad boys, and then there's bad boys in the entertainment field. So
right,
those are the ones you really want to stay away from,
right.
in my opinion, anyway.
Yeah. You know who I was always running into um, was James Franco. I was always running into James Franco. I did one movie with him, and
I ran into him too. Luckily, he didn't sue
you
me
did?
because it wasn't, it was a terrible car accident. No,
Oh no! Oh my
that
gosh,
was my joke for the
that was
night
your
for National
joke.
Joke
Oh
Week.
my gosh, that was terrible. No,
Yes, thank you. How long have you known me?
I used to run into him because he lived over by like 23rd and 9th Street, like in that area. And there was a theater there that I would always go to, and there was a lot of like premieres, movie premieres. And when I was really in it, and going to things all the time, I would be in that area walking around. And then I remember seeing him on set in Annapolis, and it was a brawl, a total brawl happened between him and Tyrese on set, and the set got cleared. This was a Disney movie, mind you, and Justin Lin was like, "Cut, cut!" And it was in Philly at like the ring where Rocky was filmed, very famous boxing ring. So they like cleared everything out, and I was right in the front, so I was in the midst
Wait,
of it. So I want to get the
Justice,
heck out of there.
Justin Lin and Tyrese, are you sure this wasn't a Fast and the Furious film?
I know. No, Justin Lin was the director, and Tyrese was the boxer that was boxing against James Franco. I did witness it all, though, and I will say I was in James's corner for what I saw go down. Now, Tyrese could have a totally different story. To me, it looked like Tyrese didn't know his choreography as well as James, who was a method actor and was in it and had a trainer and was out there boxing. Like, his sweat was real, where Tyrese had a stand-in. And I have nothing against Tyrese at all, but I was there, I witnessed it. And unless, I just thought maybe after he was coming off of Four Brothers, that was the movie, right? Four Brothers. I just thought maybe he just didn't have enough time to really learn the choreography. So he had a stand-in. But James popped him a couple times, and that was it. He gloves came off, and then a real fight happened, and everybody got cleared. I never went back to set actually after that. I was like, nah, I don't need this. They already got my money shot. They got me on camera a couple times. I was like, I'm done. But then I ran into him like maybe a couple weeks later, and and he said, "You're so familiar," and I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "From where?" And I said, "I was in Annapolis with you." And he was like, "Oh, which set? Baltimore?" And I was like, "No, Philly." And he was like, "Oh." And then I said, "Yeah, I was there for the whole brawl." And he goes, "Well, did I win?" And I was like, "In my opinion, yes, because you were like in it the whole time, but uh, did he pop him purposely? I don't know. I don't know if there was some bad blood between the two of them at all. I have no idea. I just know what I saw and can only report on that. But then we kept running into each other, and I ended up kind of helping him with a couple movies down the road, like just putting in some money and getting a couple credits. But it was a lot of fun. I saw this beautiful sunset yesterday, and it was so bright orange. It looks like a sunburnt sky. And I was like, that's our guest. So perfect timing, Mike.
Hey,
Let's
hey, how's
welcome
it
Mike.
going?
Hi.
Hey guys.
Hi. So nice to meet
Hey.
you. I'm Blaze.
Hey Blaze.
And I'm
Hi.
Ken. How's it
Hey,
going?
hey, going good. Where are you guys? What states are you guys residing in?
I'm New York. I'm in Long Beach, New York.
Okay.
And I'm in Jersey.
Okay. East Coast.
Yeah.
Right on.
And are you Utah or are you LA? Because I know that I've seen like some pictures
Yeah,
of
I'm
Ohio.
Utah, the
Okay.
very southern part. So I'm actually not too far from Las Vegas. So
Ah,
yeah,
okay.
kind of down in the desert. But yeah. Did I see that? Did you go, Blaze? Were you at Cali Vibes?
Yes, so that's it's crazy. So I was looking up some videos today, and I saw your video of Peace Sign,
Uh huh.
and I saw you riding on the bike, and I saw your Cali Vibes shirt, and I was like, oh my god, yeah, I went this past year.
Yeah.
It was incredible. It was such a great, an amazing experience. Went the whole time. Were you performing
Yeah.
there?
So I was just there as a fan.
Yeah,
But yeah, I brought my GoPro because I had the vision of the peace sign video. So the album just came out shortly before that, and I kind of pushed. I wanted it to get released. I was thinking of doing like a spring release, kind of like a summer thing, and but I decided to release it in January just so I could have it out there for Cali Vibes, and because I was trying to talk to people and kind of just. And I should have like made a bunch of stickers and just like passed them around or whatever, but yeah, so I knew I wanted to do for a peace sign video. I'm like, hey, what best just to like grab random people and throw up the peace sign. And so I was just kind of filming random people and just getting peace sign stuff footage and for that video. And then I went back down a couple weeks later to Huntington Beach and filmed that other stuff. So, but yeah, I was stoked to get good kind of Cali vibe feel in that video. And so it was a way good weekend.
oh my
It
gosh.
was amazing.
It really was. So out of
Yeah.
all of the people that, I specifically went, I love Sublime, Pepper, Stick
Mhm.
Figure, Dirty Heads. Like there were so many that
Mhm.
I wanted to see. Was there anyone that was there that you
I
emulate?
Probably the movement and stick figure were
Yeah.
part of my too. And then there's a couple like denim, like I hadn't really heard of them, and I was kind of like just in that crowd waiting for it. Might have been stick figure, I don't know, he's earlier, but like I fell in love with his stuff. So a couple unknowns that I kind of really got to love since then. But yeah, it was like the who's of who was there. It was just
Yeah,
stacked, and
it
so
was.
Well,
um
Mike, can you tell me a little bit about Sunburnt Sky, like the whole genesis of it, like where it
yeah.
came from, like the inspiration and everything?
Yeah, yeah, you bet. So a couple years ago, I was kind of going through a hard uh, life transition, I guess, just kind of spiritually and whatnot. And I was kind of listening to a podcast talking about. They had a guest on, and it was kind of like a self help kind of spiritual podcast, and they had a guest on talking about reggae music. And I've been familiar with kind of the cloud. I grew up in the '90s, so I was used to Sublime and UB40 and obviously Bob Marley. But this guest was kind of talking about just kind of the slang they use and whatnot, and a little bit of history. But at the very end of the podcast, they played a song. It was Ayatera. The song was called Stars,
Yeah.
and that song like just hit me. I was like, holy cow! Like I've never heard of this band, and so I just I deep dove for like the next year, and it was just I was just finding all these new bands I never heard of, and I mean just stuff like Slightly Stupid. It just kind of like stuff I just like. I mean, I recognize some of the songs a little bit, but I didn't really know much about them. A little bit. I got a little deeper in like Dirty Heads, obviously, and then stuff like Stick Figure I'd never heard, and so I just got and the movement I never heard of these guys, and I just got way big in this genre, and I've been doing music for a long time. I did some bands back in the day, and then I was kind of doing my solo stuff. I released a few albums doing that, um, but it was all kind of geared like alternative rock stuff. And so when I was going through this big reggae phase, I just I was like, I wonder if I could write like a reggae song. I'd never done it. I'd never tried, and so that was kind of like I wrote. The first song I did when I was kind of intentionally like gonna see if I could do this was "Nowhere Bound," and it's probably like the happiest song I've ever written. And I surprised myself. I was like, wow, like this is just upbeat. It's just nothing like I've ever done before. And so I spent the next like 4 months just writing songs, and I was thinking of doing it under my old name Seels, which I'd released like 4 albums under, but I was just like, this feels like a fresh start. It's a whole new genre. It's just so I came up with Sunburnt Sky, and So yeah, I released my first album just earlier this year in January.
So the new album has Peace Sign, Nowhere Bound, Out in the Ocean, Slide Away. I actually listened to the whole album.
Oh, thanks.
Those were
Thanks.
actually my
Yeah.
4 favorite. I was like, "Oh, I feel these." Like, these
Yeah,
are the
yeah,
ones
yeah.
that really resonated for me.
Yeah.
So where do you get where did you get your inspiration from writing-wise? Because you're writing the songs as well, right?
Mhm.
So lyrically and,
Yeah,
musically,
yeah. And
R-
and to
r-
add
I'll say
yeah.
real quick too, because you did mention that the previous song you were talking about was one of the happiest songs you'd ever written. So like
Mhm.
getting into that process, I'm kind of curious about that as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Like I say, it was a big pivot as far as musically for me, and a lot of the instrumentation was a little different. Like I never really used a whole lot of acoustic guitars and stuff in the past, and drums were a lot different. And so I was just experimenting with different stuff, and I still you can kind of sense a little bit more of a kind of alternative feel to my stuff as opposed to like a roots reggae type stuff. But
Which I
honestly,
love, by the way. I love
yeah,
that.
yeah, and that's kinda like where, I kinda like Dirty Heads, they kind of can kinda split the genres, um, and, but yeah, I would probably the 2 bands Stick Figure, as far as sonically, I was wanting to do a little more, um, adding, like, a little more synths and stuff, which Stick Figure does a lot of, and so that was kinda my goal to add a little more synth to make it a little more atmospheric, and then, um and then some of the movement to kind of make, uh, the beats and maybe the drums a little harder than typical, and so I kind of had those two. Is kind of like I was kind of like, is this sound like something that these guys would dig?
Mhm.
And I did. I've never done a cover song, recorded a cover song, but I did on this album, "Walking on a Dream," and that song was just. I was thinking of a couple different songs. I was like, what's just a feel good song that maybe I could change the feel of it a little bit, and so I heard that song, and it's always been just a classic, like summery vibe song to me. And I heard it, and I was like, it's just simple. It's just way synthy and drum machine thing. And so I was like, what if I kind of made it a little more organic, had more organic drums to it, and some acoustic guitar. I even put in a little bit of ukulele in that song. And so that's the first song I've ever done a cover of. I usually stay away from cover songs, but that one was just kind of a fun little I don't know, and then yeah, that one, turned out pretty good on the album. Like I said, some of my other influences probably would be like Iatera, Iration, Sublime with Rome,
I'm not sure why, but I also
Pepper.
get from you Catastro, and I know Andy
Oh,
passing is, like, just devastating, but
yeah.
I feel a little Catastro from you too, just
Yeah,
from what I
that's
listened to.
I totally forgot about those guys.
Yeah.
They're probably in my top like 5 influences. And I would never have known about them. I messaged a friend of mine who I knew was in the reggae genre, and this was
Mhm.
back when I was just starting. And so I said, "Hey, give me a list of like some cool bands. I'm just getting into this genre. Shoot me a list." And Catastro was on that list, and it was like I was like, "Holy cow!" So I got way into them, and I was stoked to see them at Cali Vibes.
Yeah.
And yeah, unfortunately, it's sad to hear the news with them. But yeah, I really dug Catastro, and some of my rapping stuff probably was influenced by them. So yeah, it's funny you picked up on that.
Yeah, absolutely. If you go back a little bit, and I do have a question, it's a little serious.
hmm
Um, are you team Edward or team Jacob? For
Oh,
Twilight,
you
I
went
went
back,
back
yeah,
to I saw that, what was it called? Twilight, What Have You Done to My Wife? Is
yeah,
that what
yeah,
it was called?
hmm
So, you just have to tell us a little bit just because, I mean,
yeah.
I saw on YouTube, it was a huge hit. It was like,
hmm
Twilight, what have you done to my wife? Now all she wants is the vampire life.
So that was fun. Yeah, I was kind of in one of my bands at the time, and um, and that was kind of I've never been a singer in my bands. There's a guitarist, and I never, but it's just how bands are. It's just so hard finding people, and
yeah,
singers they come and go. And so fine, I was just like, I'll be the lead singer or whatever. I don't. My voice is decent, but it's not great. But I'll do the best I can. So yeah, so Shallow Day was kind of one of the bands where it was kind of I kind of took charge and uh, uh, took lead, and that was a song I wrote as a joke. I just wrote it in my room, and my wife was a big fan. She wasn't as crazy as the song makes it out to be, but she was fun with it. And I kind of like, hey, like, is it cool if I just kind of like, exaggerate a little bit here and there? So yeah, I wrote the song. We made a video like shortly after, and yeah, it was hit at the right time. And unfortunately, like we were not into social media all the time, and so it kind of YouTube it took off, and we weren't even like on Facebook promoting or anything. But yeah, it was fun. A couple local news, picked it up, and I heard some radio stations were playing it throughout the country, and so it was kind of like a weird fluke thing, and it didn't honestly it didn't do a whole lot for the band because it was just kind of like, yeah, we kind of write serious songs, and then we have this funny
Yeah.
song, and
I mean,
um
it only popped up because I was, listening to some of the
yeah,
other stuff, and then I watched Sucker Punch was the other one,
uh-huh,
that I was watching, and
yeah,
that's, well, the one that popped up afterwards, and I was like, "Oh, I didn't know he
yeah,
did this." So I was like, I just have to joke around and say, because today is, or this week is National Tell a Joke Day.
oh yeah,
So I
yeah.
told jokes earlier, they were terrible, um, but there we go. I had to, like, kinda get you in on the joke,
Yeah, no,
Jay.
that was a weird time,
Well,
and it
but you know
was
what? But you
funny
know what,
though.
Mike? To your credit, though, like I mean, it might have been a joke, but I mean, when it hit like that, like for
Yeah.
the brief, like with the exposure, it had to feel good, though. Like,
Oh, it did. We're watching the views, like just 10,000 views every 5 minutes, and we're just like, holy cow, this is. And I was like getting recognized in town and stuff. Like I was just like, whoa, this is.
it's
I
got to give
did
you a
not.
good feeling.
It did, but it did make me feel uncomfortable. I was just kind of
Yeah,
like, and it was fun. I actually got recognized like a year ago from that. Like just still like just random. So I'm like, are you that one guy?
that's the problem with the internet, man.
Yeah. So, but no, it's fun. It's not like something I don't hide from it. It's definitely like I look at it as a success, and
Yeah,
so
but you've really transitioned because, the type of music that you
yeah.
did before that I heard, and
Hmm.
then kind of going into this reggae. Tell us about your time in the Caribbean. You had mentioned that you lived there for a short time.
Yeah. So I lived in from when I was like 19 to 21. So I was down there for a religious mission, they call them, and so I was just kind of proselytizing and teaching about Jesus and whatnot.
Hmm.
And yeah, and when I look back at that, I liked Bob Marley, but it really kind of the island Caribbean type of vibe. Like I love that, and I mean I was in this one area where I was living like right on the beach, out in the middle of nowhere, and it was just a really fun time. And so yeah, I kind of did channel some of that islandy vibes that when I was down there, and a lot of Bob Marley's huge down there, so it's right next to Jamaica, the DR. And so yeah, so I actually got to go back like when I after I got married, I took my wife down there. We went down on vacation, and I tried to find some old people I used to know and just kind of like but yeah, I love the Caribbean, the Dominican Republic. I need to go to Jamaica, some of those other places. Puerto Rico would be fun to go to and stuff. But yeah.
So the album's out, and congratulations, actually,
Oh,
because
thanks.
it's very hard to produce something from start to finish.
Yeah.
Can you give us a little bit of some of the pratfalls and some of the challenges in the studio and getting it produced and
Yeah. So one of the things early on when I started doing bands is I learned to try and I became like a jack of all trades. So, I was like, hey, how do you make videos and edit and do all that stuff? And so honestly, this whole album I did completely myself. I've got a little
wow.
studio here. I use Ableton Live as my program. And yeah, I've just spent hours on YouTube learning how to do things. I mean, it would be I'd love to kind of run everything through like a really professional producer or a mixer master eventually. But yeah, but it's nice because there's no pressure. I'm not paying anyone hourly. Mixing is probably the hardest thing. And to my credit, I'm really good at going in and just getting it done. When I start a song, like I'm just thinking about I just can't wait to get in there and work it. And it's almost like I have to just get it done before I can kind of take a breath. And then I might get another idea and work on that. And so my projects really, when get into it, I get them done pretty fast. You know, I, and so yeah, I'm just constantly motivated until I get it done. I rarely start something and not finish it. I'm a family man, and so I've got wife and kids. Sometimes they don't see me all night for weeks, and I'm just like, I'm sorry, but I gotta get this done. It's like I get in flow state and I just feeling it. And so yeah, so like I said, all these songs I probably wrote in like a 3 4 and recorded. I kind of record as I'm writing for the most part. um I might kind of write a whole song on the acoustic guitar, but other songs I'm kind of just coming in the studio and writing as I'm recording. And so yeah, it was honestly like 3 4 months, this whole album.
Read
Takes.
that Peace Sign was number 5 on the
Oh, I
reggae
know.
Top
Yeah,
40 Weekly, which is super
I
exciting.
know.
And
Yeah.
I just all of a sudden got, a message and they had me on that list. I was like, how the heck did this happen? I don't,
yeah,
but yeah, it was fun.
Music industry has changed so much. It's become a lot easier for new guys to actually create their own stuff and get it out
Hmm.
there. The hard part is how do you get it out there and maintain it, get the followers, get the
Yeah.
listeners, and do all the
Yeah.
promotion and marketing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think COVID changed things a lot
yeah,
too because people were either doing their home studio stuff or,
Hmm.
it
Yeah.
wasn't necessarily that you wanted a bunch of people around you. You kind of
Yeah.
did do a lot of solo and
Yeah.
learn from because what you had all that time, kind of to
Yeah,
figure
it's
things
fun.
out.
Everybody was coming out with new music, about a
Yeah,
year ago. It's just like, well, we're locked up. Let's write an album.
yeah,
And honestly, the writing and recording process probably like my favorite. Um, I That's the most creative part about it for me. I'm not a huge performer, and so as far as I can't see myself just getting in a van and touring around and playing all these low gigs. And so
yeah,
I'm always hoping that someone at like Cali Vibes me like, hey, like you want to play like an early spot or something. But hopefully someday,
yeah.
yeah, hopefully I'd love to play some of those festivals. But
yeah. We have a question that we always ask all of our guests, and
mhm,
that is, what piece of advice would you give to, either your younger self or someone that's just
mhm,
starting out in the business, and maybe on instead of on the performance side of things, but maybe on the writing side that really
yeah.
connects with you, that people would understand.
Yeah, I would say like just learn as much as diversify your skills, because if I had to rely on someone to come and play the guitar in all my songs or play the piano or play drums, like I can decently play all those things. Um, and and then on the production side, just learn how to record, how to mix, how to master, how to and then on the other side, you got video production and you've got some of
Yeah.
this other stuff. And so, like I said, all of that, it allows me to do what I do. And yeah, someone might nitpick here and there and, critique, and it's not nothing's, I wouldn't say totally professional, but at least it allows me to get my stuff out there. And so, yeah, I try not to depend on others as much as maybe some people might do. And that's the best way to start is kind of do it yourself for as long as you can. And then obviously you might get to a point where, I mean, I'd love to get like a band to tour with and stuff like that. Obviously, these next couple of shows I'm just gonna be running with backing tracks and playing guitar and vocals, and so it's just gonna be me for a little while. But yeah, someday it'd be cool to get an actual live band. And for live stuff, kind of stick figure. He was kind of good when I was looking into him. I'm like, he does it all himself. He's got his own studio, he's got his own record label, and
Hmm.
he gets a touring band with him when he needs it, and he just kind of has full control of his. And I was just like, oh, that's peace and freedom right there. So yeah, I and some of the other like some I've always kind of some of the other bands that are kind of like one man band. M83 kind of comes to mind, that they kind of just they. And I've done the band thing, and bands are tough. You're dealing with a lot of people, and you're trying to get schedules
Hmm.
together. Hey, come on, practice, and this probably I can't. And so and maybe I'm too hard headed for others to work with me, maybe. But and so it's just easier. It's just. But honestly, like it's just so fun for me. I love to come in here and just write and go from there, get it recorded, and just when I can just drive around town and crank it up and the mix, I'm pleased with how everything turned out.
Hmm.
Like that's to me like the ultimate satisfaction. It's
Yeah.
cool to get other people chiming in and say, "Oh, I love a song," or sharing, and that's really cool. But like I said, I'll probably just always be writing music, whether I got one fan or 100 or 10,000. But it's more so like a personal thing for me. So
Yeah, it
Well,
really sounds like a passion.
it is.
It's
Oh,
really
for
cool. It's very
sure.
inspiring to see.
and you
Thanks.
have
Yeah.
2 fans in us too,
Oh,
Yes.
thank
so
you.
Yeah, 100%.
Thanks. Yeah.
Um, well, we do
Yeah.
have to wrap things up.
Okay.
Ken, any final questions or last things or
real quick, the album's out again, congratulations, but are we still already looking at the horizon, and do we have other things planned upcoming?
I most likely I'll put some stuff maybe another album out next year. Yeah, I haven't even. And when I start, I almost have to hold myself back from like wanting to come in here and start like coming up with ideas and writing again, because I know if I even start that, then I'm just gonna go all in, and before you know it, I got a second album already ready, and so I'm trying to like hold myself back and be like, hey, let's do some shows, let's just promote this album still, get these songs out, build your name a little bit, and
yeah.
so yeah, probably end of next year I'll probably get the itch again and start going in and writing some new stuff. So
Well, keep it up, Mike,
so
Yeah,
really.
we wish you the
appreciate it.
best. We really do. We usually cheers as we say goodbye, but we're going to give you a peace sign.
Oh yeah.
Peace sign this time.
All right,
Keep in
love
touch
you
with us,
guys.
please. Let us know,
Okay,
what when you're doing things and stuff. We'd love to,
cool.
keep in touch. So,
Okay, do you think you're going to Cali Vibes this next year,
you
or
know
don't
what?
know?
I
They
saw that
announced the dates.
they did. I was
Yeah,
waiting to see the lineup,
I
but
know. I'm like, I don't
but
know.
they never do that.
Well, if you
I,
do, we'll be hooking up for sure.
I
So
definitely will. I would love to, for
okay.
sure. But
All right.
it's Sunburnt Sky
Sunburnt Sky
Music
Music.
is
Yep,
yep.
that's pretty much all my stuff,
And
socials. So
anywhere else that people can, if you want
mainly
to
it's
go, or
YouTube.
just right
I'm
here?
not really. Yeah, I'm on Facebook,
Okay,
YouTube, and Instagram for now. So
perfect.
Mike, it was
All
a
right, we'll say
pleasure
appreciate the
hello to
love.
meeting
you.
you. Thank you again.
Thank you, Ken.
Yes.
All
Mwah. Take
right.
care.
Peace out.
Bye. Take
Bye.
care.
He was awesome.
I'm
Uh,
inspired. I'm so inspired.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So, oh well, great interview. We had a great show tonight, but I
Yeah.
think it's time to go beachcombing.
Oh, yes. Yes, it is. It sure is. You know what? It's funny. Um, I kind of, when I felt inspired, when I said I felt inspired, it actually kind of does tie into Beachcombing with Blaze because this time we're talking about treasure. And I've had a lot of like pirate things surrounding me. I don't know if you could see the shirt I'm wearing, but it's from One Piece. It's Nico Robin. I don't know if you ever
Like the
watched
anime
One
One
Piece at
Piece,
all.
you
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah. So I've been really into it, and Nico Robin's my favorite character. So I have this cool T-shirt. But for whatever reason, my birthday a couple weeks ago, we had like a we were dressed as pirates and pirate. I was a pirate mermaid. So it's super cool. But that seems to be the vibe lately. So I
Of
thought this
course you
week
were a
on
mermaid.
Beachcoming, of course. But Beachcoming with Blaze this week, I decided to do a kind of like treasure type situation. So let's just roll the clip and you'll see what I'm talking
All
about.
right.
Okay.
Arg, mateys. Today I'm putting my mermaid shells away and making like a pirate instead. And what is one thing pirates just can't resist? Treasure, of course. Some people call finding a cool seashell, colorful piece of glass, or neat rock during a beach day with their loved ones treasure. Check out this heart-shaped rock a good friend found for me in Point Lookout, New York. Pretty awesome find, right? Other people prefer to take their metal detectors out and search for golden coins, like my friend Larry. I've found all kinds of things while beachcombing. This ring, pink quartz, a shark's tooth, some old coral, even flowers, toys, bracelets, sunglasses, and a couple of bottles. This one I found was glass and antique, all the way from Europe, too. And this one was a plastic bottle I found with a message inside. Here are some of the best tips that I have for you treasure hunters. 1. I find it best to do random searches at low tide, so download that Tide app and you'll know the best times to go. Number 2, after a storm usually yields the best haul for me. Never during a storm, though. Safety first. And number 3, follow the rip tides to the lowest points of the shoreline. Usually lifeguards help you out by placing flags near them anyway, so just follow their lead. Good rule of thumb is to search in between and around the flags. Oh, and don't forget to look up. Sometimes the treasure is in the sky. Well, until next time, explore, learn, and love the adventure.
Again, see, I learn something every week on this show. Whether it's you, Nicole, actually usually both of you together collaboratively. I told you I just have to go back to school. That's what I need to do.
No, you know what though, but with finding treasures and stuff like that on the beach, it is a lot about luck. It's about the time of year you're doing it. It's about where you walk and that type of thing. Because if you're in a highly trafficked area, chances are somebody else is going to find things. And I'm always very inquisitive too. Like if I see something floating in the ocean, usually I want to, if it's like a balloon, I want to follow it to get it so I can remove it from the ocean,
Well,
since
yeah.
I know that that does hurt our wildlife. So I'm very aware of everything that's going on in the ocean. Yeah, so I think it just, but finding all of that stuff was just magical and so cool. It's, again, I've said it before, the ocean covers over 70% of the earth we live on, and it's mostly unexplored. So how cool is that? Like, that's the
It is.
adventurer in me, forever the adventurer. But don't worry, you're not losing me to the next ship that's leaving to go treasure hunting. I'll stick around for a while.
Unless like a Captain Jack Sparrow shows up
Oh,
and says, "Come on, get on
uh-oh.
board.
Uh-oh. Well,
I've got rum."
oh, that's, well, never say never. Never say never for that. But listen, it was a pleasure, as always today. And thank you everybody for joining. Thank you for Nicole for In the Kitchen.
Thanks to Mike Seely from Sunburnt Sky. Again, great to talk to. I appreciate the conversation we had with him, and the new album's out, so definitely check it out.
Yeah, it was a great show. So we'll have a great week, and I will see you next week. And I guess have a potato, have a glass of Pinot Noir,
Oh, you forgot to
tell
mention
a
the
joke.
fajitas too, actually, apparently.
Oh, yes, the fajita, love your feet. I mean, it's like a full rum day. Like, let's go.
I think you may have had a little too much this
It's,
episode.
oh boy, oh boy. All right, see you later.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Sunshine, are you fine? Throw me up that peace sign.